Welcome to the Great Loop aboard the Perch. This is our 22nd day underway, and if you were with us for our last session, you know that we stopped at the Dismal Swamp Welcome Center after a really stunning day of cruising. So we are at this point still in the middle of the Dismal Swamp Canal and ready to set out for the day for the rest of our trip up to Norfolk, which is our destination for the day. So we left the dock around 7:30 in succession with the other two boats that had tied up at the visitor center overnight. We knew we were likely to be a little bit early for the bridge opening, so we were prepared that we would be waiting for that. But shortly after departure, we saw the sign on the waterway that welcomed us to Virginia. So we have now crossed through all of North Carolina and into Virginia. Each of the locks on the Dismal Swamp Canal, there's one at each end, and inside each lock in the canal is a bridge. So those bridges need to be opened, and it's typically the same bridge tender that is opening the bridge and operating the lock. So you have to be a little bit patient there. But as we were approaching the bridge, knowing we would have to wait for the bridge to open and then for the lock to open, there was a race going on. You can see the runners there between the trees. And just as an example of how slow you are really going here on the Dismal Swamp Canal, the runners there near the finish line were outpacing us. So it was kind of fun to watch that. But we pulled up to the bridge and knew we were going to have a wait, as I said. So we tied up, rafted up. Altogether, there were 4 boats there waiting on that bridge. And there's another picture of us rafted up. The bridge was scheduled to open at 11. We arrived closer to 10, I'd say. And then there were some sailboats waiting at the other side of the lock. So the lockmaster locked them through first, let them through the bridge, then let us through the bridge and locked us through. So overall, it was a pretty long wait. It was probably about 12:30, I'd say, when we finally finished locking through and exited the Dismal Swamp Canal. It's a pretty immediate change of scenery as you finish that up because you've been in this rural, beautiful canal for so long, and then all of a sudden you are approaching Norfolk. So it's a busy commercial port. It is a very busy military port. So you can see the cargo ships immediately. You can see the Navy Yard there. But that is kind of, as I said, a change of scenery, but interesting to see there in Norfolk. So we pulled into our slip at Waterside, which is where we will actually be for 2 weeks. We are about a week early for the spring rendezvous that will be held here, which gives us time to recoup and get everything set up. Norfolk is a great city with lots to see and do, so I will be putting together one of our Great Loop lifestyle videos about Norfolk shortly. Our Nebo log for the day shows 4 voyages, which is reflective of some of the waits we had at bridges and locks. And 4 hours underway, about 23 miles, and we averaged 5.7 knots. That's again reflective of the slowness in the Dismal Swamp Canal. Our max speed was 9 knots, and there again is another look at our route for the day. We did actually bump twice, have 2 bumps on the Dismal Swamp Canal. A lot of people ask that question. Basically, deadheads, something that perhaps was kicked up by the boats well in front of us, but 2 small bumps that kind of hit the hull of the boat. Nothing to worry about, but those are the kind of things that make some people hesitant about the Dismal Swamp Canal route. There have been some bent props coming through there. We really just thought that this route choice was spectacular, and we're so thankful that we made that choice. So some loopers will stay on the main part of the Atlantic Intracoastal Waterway and head through Coinjock and on up into Norfolk that way. Either one is a viable route, so each captain will make that choice when it's their time. Thank you for watching. We will be back soon with our next leg.